Hello and welcome to Over the Lift Hill. My name is Dan and I'm joined by Matt today, and we're going to be having a chat with the one and only Nick Hutson, theme park music composer and creator of Theme Park Fan, the musical. So without further ado, let's introduce him. Hello, Nick.
Welcome. Hi, guys. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening indeed.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you so much. So obviously we're going to talk about Theme Park Fan, the musical. But I know there's loads of burning questions that we've got to ask you. But first of all, I think just a lot of people want to know the kind of things. What made you, when you, obviously you've been doing this for a while now, was it kind of a set thing that you wanted to compose music for theme parks, or was it just originally like music in general?
I always wanted to write musicals. And I seem to be blessed with a gift of telling stories through music. I would always, when I was about 5 or 6, I always put on shows at home, and we had a piano, and I used to kind of improvise tunes on the piano to the stupid little plays I'd make up with my friends and things. I would then go and see musicals, and then I went to theme parks because I grew up at the time, because I'm so old, I grew up at the time when Chessington was going from a zoo to the world of adventures, as we all know. So I went on the Fifth Dimension, and I went on Terror Tomb, and I went on the Vampire, and then I went to Disney World around 8 or 9. So that was kind of everything. And I started to notice, I remember at university when I was about probably 19, we had to give a speech for a class to talk about something we were interested in, and I talked about theme parks and how they use music. So that was kind of, I don't know when or where I got the bug for wanting to do music, but I didn't want to do film scores. I didn't want to do game music. And I didn't want to do, I wanted to do musicals, but they're really hard to do, ironically. So I thought, okay, well, let me try and get into writing music for theme parks, and through various people involving John Wardley and Disney Imagineers and things like that, it just kind of all slotted into place, which is that's my story in a nutcase, in a nutshell. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it's really interesting. I mean, one of the main things that I pay attention to when I go to theme parks is the music. I think without music and sounds and audio, it brings a whole new atmosphere to a park and to an attraction. Do you kind of, in your head, when you, how do I phrase it? Do you find out, do you know what it is, they tell you what it is that you're writing for? Or do you kind of have an idea in your head of what it's going to be like?
Yeah. Generally, they will, if it's a massive project, they will have some ideas to where they would want music, and they would kind of throw around words to describe it, or they'd have kind of reference tracks, film moments they like, or bits off television, and it's my job to take that and make it work in a theme park environment. I think it's so different compared, some projects like Fright Nights for Thorpe Park, when I did the original one, not the redone one in 2020, the 2018 one, they just said, we trust you.
Oh, wow.
We have a discussion, do what you want. So, that's why I had such fun writing the WWTP script and stuff, and getting all my mates involved with that and things. And it's just, it's the most fun. But I like to think people get me on board because I understand music, but I understand how rides work, and I understand how the two can work together. Toon Blaster was very, 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 very fun. And it's a lot of back and forth between the creative people involved. And, you're only hearing, I'd say, sort of 30% of the music that gets written, because so much stuff changes and gets cut and ideas are battered around. So there isn't really a proper answer to that, because there's no kind of set rules. It's all down to how much time you have, how invested the park are with the music. They might just want to do a piece of music, thanks, go away and do it. They might want to have weekly meetings where we go through all the pieces of music that I've done and go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and that's great because it proves that they're passionate about it as well. But there's so many different ways that you can approach a project.
Yeah, definitely. Talking of projects, we have got to talk to you about the one that I think everyone's talking about at the moment, one that we're all, myself and the team here at Over the Lift, are very excited about, Theme Park Fan Musical. It's, like I said, it's an interesting idea. I love musicals. I love theme parks. I have no doubt it's going to be fantastic. What can people expect from Theme Park Fan the Musical? Obviously, without giving too much away.
Well, I can give away what I've talked about with other people. They can expect a love letter to the UK theme park community. That's the biggest thing. In fact, this isn't entirely created by me. This is 28 people that have come together to offer their various skills, whether it's set design or singing or playing instruments or doing logo work or making video. So many people have come together for this, and you can expect a love letter to the UK theme park community. You can expect a love letter to Blackpool. You can expect a love letter to opening weekend, because that is what music is set. So it's no coincidence we are releasing this on February the 6th at 7:30 at a time when we should all be together. That was planned to back in April of last year when we were starting to do this musical, when I was starting to do the musical. You can expect a lot of references, some of which will fly over your head, some of which will hit you over the head. You can expect a lot of musical theatre references, jokes in there, characters some characters you don't know, some people playing people you don't know, based on other people. So there's lots of kind of weird, it's like a sort of, if Blackpool were to have a parallel universe, that's where this musical will be taking place. In a time when we're allowed to go outside. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, wow.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
I know Matt's just as excited about this as I am.
Yeah, I am. I'm sorry, but I've just had to butt in there. But thank you very much for joining us, Nick, obviously. My first question is, what were the origins of Theme Park Fan the Musical? And obviously it's a completely organic idea. Was it born out of creativity in lockdown, or tell us a bit more about it?
It was born out of Theme Park Fan, or I'm a Theme Park Fan, the song. Which is a pile of rubbish I put together in 2018. And people just kept saying to me, when are you going to do the next Theme Park Fan? When are you going to, do I'm a Cameos fan, or do I'm a whatever fan? So I thought, okay, well, I've always I actually did a theme park musical 10 years ago for a podcast called coasterradio.com, which is a great show that I still listen to, about their comedy character Coaster Boy, who I came up with the idea that he lived underneath the tunnels in Cedar Point in a mask and a cloak, and would go up to the ground level to taunt guests for getting facts wrong. And he kidnapped the presenters of the podcast and brought them down, held them hostage, whatever. But so that was kind of very American. And I thought, okay, well, I want to do a musical, another theme park musical. It's just on my own at the moment. And I thought, well, let's have a group of Brits go to America for the first time and do a road trip to Cedar Flags. And it kind of sort of worked, but a friend of mine said, make this about everyone and make it for everyone. So that was the kind of thing. I sat down and thought, okay, well, hang on, I've got the song that everyone likes for some reason, Theme Park Fan the musical. It just kind of writes itself. Sadly, it didn't. So that's the origins behind it, and it just became this thing about make it for the fans. Well, why don't we get people involved? Then we can. And this was in lockdown. So the first lockdown was me writing it with assistance from the amazing Owen Evans, who's a wonderful rock, folk, pirate, musician person. Working with Ryan Nixon, who is playing the lead role of Jamie. The lead role was written specifically for him to match his out of this world vocal range. And that was kind of the core team back in the summer. And then I went away and finished it and came up with the script and about 12 songs. And then it was only in December of last year, which sounds really weird to say, that Dylan Lee came on board as a director. And what's great about this is everyone is a theme park fan involved in this. So there's no one coming from the West End. There's no one coming from, sort of outside. Everyone gets it. So we were all on the same page immediately, which was great. And Dylan came on board and he kind of directed it. He organised read-throughs on Zoom, and he got various people to play parts, and he gave people deadlines. I mean, all in, no pressure, but try and get this for this. And I just kind of sliced it all together, and from that, an audio experience was born. And this is an audio experience. This isn't a film. So it's fitting that I do audio. So we're treating this as a sort of an audio attraction. Something. So there's going to be, we hope there's going to be pictures of a 3D set on the screen that will change during the show, just to give you kind of an idea as to where you are within the piece. It's really exciting. Just put one more thing to add, and then it's finished and ready to go for February the 6th. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it's giving us something to look forward to on the February the 6th.
Definitely.
We can't be in the Velvet Coaster in physicality, but we can be there in spirit.
And you will be there in the musical, because there's a major scene in that location. But also you can smell it, because we're working with Aroma Prime.
Of course, yeah.
To create a smell that you can now buy, a scent, based around opening weekend. So it's got Blackpool sea air blended with old and new wood. So it's kind of this lovely, unique smell to the musical, which is something I never thought would happen in a million years, the fact that there'd be a smell. And the wonderful thing is we're working with Calm, which is a mental health charity.
Brilliant charity.
And we've raised nearly £800 for them already. We haven't even released the show yet. So you can go to the Just Giving website and donate whatever you want. And please do, because that's the most important thing for this project, is that we do help people, whether it's our little group of friends together or the big wider audience, or really helping people by supporting to the charity. And all the profits that you make, that Aroma Prime make from selling the smell, they will donate to Calm as well. So this is a complete drive to help them. So yeah, that's amazing. And the a couple of weekends ago, there's a composer called Alan Menken, who's a great Disney legend. He did Hunchback of Notre Dame and Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid and Pocahontas and Hercules and Tangled, and he donated $100, which was a great kind of push. I've known him for years, and I just kind of told him about it, and you don't expect that, but that was a real mental push for the team, which was a great moment for us.
Incredible.
So yeah.
It's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, you've got some great names working on this with you. Like you said, we've got Ryan Nixon, and we've got cameos from Jack Silkstone, Archie Stevens, all the big names in the theme park project.
I wouldn't say Archie is a cameo. He plays not a major part, but he does have a speaking role and an entire song where we parody him.
That's exciting.
This Matt, I'm seeing some payback here for a certain diss track that came out a little while ago. This could be quite rewarding to watch, I think now.
This musical is the biggest diss track that's ever been created, I think.
Really?
I think so. Not that it's insulting to anyone, but it's so Archie plays Zach F. Stone, which is a parody of Jack Silkstone. But Jack Hutson is also in the show, just having a random spoken line. So again, it's this weird world where things sort of made sense, but are completely fresh and original as well. So yeah, but we've got some great cameos as well.
And this was all done and created virtually, which I think is absolutely incredible. Did you run into many problems or any difficulties trying to do it all like virtually and online?
Well, there's a difficulty of, teaching people songs virtually is virtually impossible because of delays and things. And so a lot of people were listening to the songs and learning them that way. It's a lot of work on my end to slice it all together. And some of the songs, there's 35 vocal tracks of all the cameos and multiple layers of Owen singing. And, that was tricky. The difficult thing for the actors was the nice thing when in the normal world, you'd all meet in a room and you get to know each other properly, and there'd be a kind of continuous bubbling chemistry for the whole rehearsal process. And you just don't get that on Zoom. It's lovely to be talking to you gentlemen tonight, but it'd be easier in a room together. And that's very important for the theatre. But generally people have been brilliant. People have been so generous with their time and their talent. A bit overwhelmingly so for me, because I never thought it would get anywhere, let alone, we're going to be in the Blackpool Gazette in a few days and just random stuff like that, and the smell and, it hasn't been challenging at all. Writing it was the hardest bit because that was just me on my own. But now you have people to help you. It's great.
That's incredible. That is incredible. Like I said, we're all very excited for it. There is one last thing that I would like to ask you. And we ask everyone that we speak to this kind of thing. Obviously, we are a roller coaster and theme park news channel, and with bride consultancy and stuff like that. We have to ask you. It's a generic question that everyone gets asked. What are your top 5 roller coasters in the UK, Nick?
Top 5. I know my top 1, and it's always a weird choice, but the one I will ride again and again and again, very happily, is Dragon's Fury at Chessington.
Oh, really?
Because it's just, for that park, it's just insane. And it's better than Spinball at Alton Towers because it's not an off-the-shelf thing, and this is a John Wardley original. And it's just the layout. It just goes on. It has, was it 2 lift hills?
2 lift hills. Yeah.
And it just goes, it just goes on and on and on. So that would be my number 1. I do like Wicker Man, but I like it for the theming and the atmosphere it creates. I wouldn't like to ride it without the pre-show. I know that's how it was this year.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
I do enjoy Vampire because it has held up incredibly well over the last 78 years that it's been open. I do enjoy, so that's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to say Megaphobia, and not for work reasons, but it's just relentless. And it's not relentless like Grand National is relentless. You can ride it many times in a row, and we love going to the After Dark event and going on it at sort of 10:30 at night until 11:30 when you cannot see anything. It is, after it's warmed up, it is the most amazing ride. Some people might find it overhyped, but that's what's great about this, is everyone has their own opinions.
I've never been on it.
So that's 4. 5. Screw it. Icon. I think it's good for Blackpool. I will say it's good for the Pleasure Beach because it doesn't beat you up. Like most of the rides do there, and you can go on it. And I went to the opening day. I think I did it about 45 times in a day.
That's impressive.
It's just enjoyable. But the issue I have with the Mac Megas is and it's the same with Helix, which I thought was overhyped a bit, and this is the reason why. If you go on it first thing in the morning, you're not going to get a great ride. If you go on it last thing at night, you get a great ride. And that is a flaw in a ride, in my opinion, because if you can't get on it or it closes or something, you are getting a lesser experience. As far as Helix, I much prefer Boulder at Liseberg, because that ride wasn't hyped up at all, and that just shocked me. I've done El Toro before, and it was just like, the instrument plug and play, so that just really shocked me in a good way. But that's I think that's my top 5.
There we go.
Not very original.
That is great. Well, I think, Matt, have you got anything else you wanted to ask? Because I think that's...
No, I'm just like to thank you for talking to us again. I mean,
definitely.
I'm a drummer myself, and obviously having the love for theme parks and being a musician at the same time, it's so inspiring to talk to someone like yourself who has made a career out of it. So thank you for what you do.
And it's interesting, before we started, we talked about the linking of theatre and theme park, and it's such a big... It's proven that so many people who work in the theme park industry just get musicals because they're so over the top and so... I mean, the theme park family musical makes no pretenses in the fact that it is a musical. And it's littered with musical theatre references. So you've got Evita, you've got Les Mis, you've got Wicked, you've got Hairspray and Grease, and you've got so many different... It's a love letter to the UK theme park community, it's a love letter to Blackpool, and it's a love letter to musicals in general. So I think there is something for everyone, and even if you don't like theme parks, listen to it. If you don't like musicals, but you like theme parks, A, you're wrong, and B, listen to it, because there is a lovely message in there, and it's all a bit cheesy, but it's in that effect, it doesn't hide the fact that it's a musical. It's not ashamed to be a musical. They will randomly... There's songs in this that are 8.5 minutes long, and I think people are not... I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I don't think people are prepared for the quality that this is. This is a full... It's not a full, but it's an hour and 10-minute book musical with book, music and lyrics are all integrated. You've got themes that come back and repeat themselves and twist it round, and there's no dancing obviously, but there could be, and real love and passion has gone into this, and so many talented people have been involved. So please join us 7:30 on my YouTube channel, Nick Hutson, just Nick Hutson, actually, HUT for Tango SON, and subscribe, and you'll get You'll get notified of the notification. I do like notificated. That's a good word.
It's a good word. I think
let's make it. Let's own it.
Hashtag notificated.
Can we get this trending on Twitter, please, everyone? Hashtag notificated.
You'll get notificated once it's up. That's 7:30 Saturday, February the 6th. Join us on the immersive experience. Buy your smell from Aroma Prime. Live the moment, and it should be really, really enjoyable. And do reaction videos. We're going to release instrumentals of some of the songs, so you can record your own versions. Wow. And it's hopefully going to have life after the show. But yeah, so that's that.
Brilliant. And most importantly as well, not only for everyone to enjoy it, but also to donate to what is a really important charity.
100%. 100%. And we'll put links in our descriptions and all sorts. We try and drum up as much support as we can.